Hi, hello, my name is Gomer Joseph. I hope you've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Today, I'll be discussing a requested case of the tragic case of Joann and Alex Katrinak. As I researched this case, I found it to be very heart-wrenching and disturbing. It's not only awful that Joann lost her life, but it horrifies me that someone would go on and harm a defenseless baby. Now, I encourage you all to do your own research with this case and not just look at my video for all of the information. Here we go. Joann Katrinak was born on October 11th of 1968 in Hackettstown, New Jersey. I know that I don't really know much about Joann, unfortunately, but I do know that later in life she did marry a man named Andrew Katrinak. And this was actually her second husband due to her leaving her first husband due to them having a toxic marriage. But when she was married to her second husband, Andrew, she gave birth to their son, Alex, who was born on August 21st of 1994. On December 15th of 1994, Joann is 26 years old at this point, and she is living in Germansville, Pennsylvania with her husband, Andrew, and with their son, Alex. It's December, Christmas is 10 days away, and Joann was getting ready to go Christmas shopping. Since Andrew was at work, Joann took Alex with her out of the house, and they were never seen alive again. Later on that day, Andrew does come back from work, but he sees that his wife and son are not in the house. But at first, he doesn't really think anything of it. He knew, how much his wife Joann enjoyed Christmas, and he knew that, she had plans of going Christmas shopping, so he just waited for her. As the hours went by, and Joann and Alex still have not arrived back home yet, Andrew, he decided to go ahead and call his mother to see if she heard from Joann, but when he called his mother, she informed her son that she didn't hear from Joann at all. This is when Andrew and his mother began to worry, so they eventually did call 911. And he feared that somebody did take his wife and their son. Andrew's father gets involved. He begins searching around the area. As he is searching for his daughter-in-law and for his grandson, he does find Joann's vehicle outside of a tavern, and then he informs Andrew about this. The police are notified and looking into the car. They see that there is mace and keys, but unfortunately there is no Joann and Alex. While the police are searching for Joann and Alex, they do look into Andrew first, which is what is pretty much typical with cases like these. Now, Andrew, he was completely cooperative, and eventually he was cleared of any wrongdoing in this case. The police would go on to search the house, and as they were searching, they did notice this cut phone line. And Andrew did notice this first, he did notice that, I believe it was like the back door that was usually locked, it was open, but the police didn't really pay attention to that. But since they see that Andrew is clear, they decide to go ahead and, take his word for it. The police would go on to look deeper into the car that was found outside the tavern, and they did find pieces of blonde hair and blood inside of this car. This clearly does not look good, and the police look into a number of people in Joann and Andrew's lives. One person who the police look into is Joann's ex-husband, because they knew that she had a toxic relationship while she was married to him. But he did have a solid alibi on the day that Joann and Alex disappeared. Police go on to question Andrew's ex-girlfriend, Patricia Rohr. Now, she states that she was in a tanning salon, then attended dance lessons after leaving the tanning salon. They will look into the local handyman who did have a prior history of breaking and entering into houses, but searched the tent that he lived in and really couldn't find any evidence that would point him towards Joann and Alex's disappearance, so he was cleared. There were, plenty of quote-unquote sightings of Joann and Alex. For one example, there was a man who he believed that he saw Joann and, her baby being carried away into the woods by this man. And he was this witness was near the train tracks. And since it was the 90s, cell phones weren't really as, available like they are now. So I really can't really blame him for not really, calling for help because, I'm pretty sure there were really like no phones nearby that he could really call the police quickly. But the police did search this area and they really found nothing. On April 9th of 1995, 4 months after Joann and Alex vanished, a farmer who was miles away from Joann and Andrew's home found bodies near his farm. And he contacts the police arrive, and, once they see the bodies, once they're able to get testing done, unfortunately, the bodies were identified as Joann and Alex. According to the autopsies, it was determined that Joann's life was taken by not only a gun, but they determined that she was viciously beaten. Now, as for Alex, it was really undetermined on whether he was harmed or if he was just left there just to end up losing his own life. While Andrew is mourning the loss of his wife and his son, the police do question him later on. And Andrew, he does mention how his ex, Patricia Rohr, called one day before Joann and Alex lost their lives. And, Joann was actually the one who picked up the phone telling Patricia not to call her or Andrew again. Andrew goes on to go ahead and say how Patricia used to work in the stables and that she was familiar with the area that Joann and Alex were discovered in. Once again, the police do question Patricia, who pretty much, keeps the same story that she mentioned before and claimed that she did not own a gun. So the police visit the tanning salon that she said that she was at. But they find out that the salon was closed the day that Joann and Alex vanished. And they also found out that Patricia did have a history of violence and found out that she did in fact own a gun. They found this out by speaking with another ex of Patricia who stated that there was one time like they went into such a heated argument where Patricia pulled a gun out on this man. The police are able to go ahead and get a warrant. They search Patricia's house. They can't find the gun, but they do find shell casings. There was another issue though, because again, like I mentioned before, when the police looked into Joann's car, they found blonde hair, but Joann was not blonde. And they noticed that Patricia was not blonde. Patricia was a brunette. Doing some digging, the police do find out that Patricia did dye her hair around the time that Joann and Alex lost their lives. They're able to go ahead and collect DNA samples, and they're trying to go ahead and see if Patricia's DNA matches with the DNA, with the hair that was found in the car. And because technology wasn't really that advanced yet in the 90s, it really took some time. But eventually, they did determine that Patricia's DNA did match with the DNA that was found in the car. Patricia Rohr, who is already a mother of an 18-month-old baby girl, was arrested and charged for taking Joann and Alex's life. During the arrest, there was a cop who did claim that she heard Patricia tell her baby that if she knew that she would get caught, then she would have never brought her baby into this world. Now, Patricia, she goes into trial and the jury finds her guilty and Patricia is sentenced to life in prison. If Joann were still alive today, then she would be like 56 years old right now. And as for Alex, he would have been 30 by now, and maybe he would have had a family of his own. Instead, Rohr couldn't stand the fact that Andrew no longer wanted her and that he had moved on. And she just really couldn't handle that. And it baffles my mind that she took the life of these two, especially, taking the life of a baby who had nothing to do with your vendetta. If Rohr does not repent of her sins and trust in Jesus Christ alone to save her, then she will be paying for what she did to Joann and her son Alex for all of eternity. Now, I do pray that God would comfort Joann and Alex's loved ones. Even though it's been around 30 years since these two were taken away, I'm certain that the sort of pain has never gone away for those who loved Joann and Alex. Thank you all for taking the time in your day to watch this video. If you did like this video, please feel free to hit the like button. If you have any thoughts on this case at all, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd like to go ahead and see more videos from me, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If you enjoy watching stories filled with drama, please follow my other channel where I showcase my animated YouTube soap opera in times like these. Now, if you have any certain true crime cases you'd like me to cover, go ahead and let me know. I will see y'all for next True Crime Tuesdays, and I will talk to y'all later.